Hello, everybody. Welcome to Frank's Corner. I hope we're all doing well. Hello, my fellow Bobcat. Thought I'd give y'all a shout out real quick. Well, let's talk. There's a few things going on that annoy me right now. Are you ready? Okay, so federalizing elections. What does federalizing elections mean? It means that the government controls the election, the government controls the count, the government tells you how the outcome was. More commonly, this is done in, we'll say Russia, because I do know Clinton has elections. He just kills anybody that's going to run against him, and it doesn't matter if people voted for him or not. He just says he won. This is a federal election. Understand? That's what federalizing an election actually means. It means the government telling you who won. We definitely don't want that. But then there's this other thing that's coming about here recently, putting ICE at voting polls. Well, first and foremost, that's illegal. I hope Donald Trump listens to this. That's illegal. It's against the law, buddy. What you're trying to do is intimidate voters. So I'll explain it like this: ICE don't give a shit if you're a U.S. citizen or not, if your skin is brown or any color other than white. They don't care. So you could be at the voting polls and be 100% legal U.S. citizen and get arrested and can't cast your vote because they decided that you look like an illegal alien. I mean, this would be another form of controlling how the vote outcome is, and it's voters' intimidation, which is actually against the law in the Constitution. So, Donald Trump, pay attention, you orange fucking pumpkin. You cannot today, tomorrow, or any other day put troops at the voting polls. And here is my suggestion. Okay, this is just my opinion. Make sure you understand. It's my opinion. We should have every concealed handgun owner in the county protecting voting poll sites from ICE. This is what we should be doing, protecting it from ICE or any other federal agency that wants to step there and be around to intimidate who gets up to the poll to vote. I understand Donald Trump and his pathetic little line as they need to do whatever they can, Republicans too. And I swear, I hope that when we change this government, that even our setting Republican senators that have fueled the fire, helping Donald Trump destroy this democracy, are charged with crimes, treason. They all need to be charged and put in prison. Every damn Republican that sits there and sucks Donald Trump's dick all through the United States, including Greg Abbott, Hot Wheels bitch. You need to be incarcerated as well for trying to rig the election up to help Donald Trump. This is the problem. You're trying to shut off the minority vote, and just because you're white, say that you're better than everybody else. Let's get down to brass tacks. That's pretty much what's happening. If you look at the immigrants coming into the country that's not having a problem, they're white immigrants, Africans, Germans. You don't hear them people getting arrested, even if they're here illegally. You don't hear them getting arrested, sent back to their countries. You don't. You hear about Spanish, especially Spanish. Now, they put Thailand on the list. Okay. I understand that this government's got to lie when they actually start blocking people from here. Oh, Thailand, they're all on government assistance. Bitch, no, they're not. Okay, so I'm going to tell a personal story. Some years back, I got really sick. We'll go some years back. I got really sick, and I had to apply for my Social Security disability and food stamps and all that stuff. Let me tell you what happened. And I'm a U.S. citizen that paid taxes. I had to get a lawyer to get all that done. So if you're trying to convince me that some foreigner with no information is getting on these systems, you're full of shit. Because me, as a taxpayer, a U.S. citizen, I can't get on that stuff. without getting a lawyer or trying to make my case. And hell, I was born here. I got birth certificate, social security card. I got everything under God's green sun that shows I'm a U.S. citizen. And you kind of get where I'm going here. This is just crazy. So the Republicans are going to lie. Okay, the MAGA side of the Republicans are going to lie. They're going to cry all kinds of cries about this is happening, that is happening, this is going on, that is going on. This is the truth. And, whatever they can do to rig the election. So, again, I'll say this my opinion, but if we research it, it might be fact. I 100% know Donald fucking Trump lost the election to Kamala Harris. He lost. The stupid motherfucker lost. So when he sat there and made the statement that the Republicans rigged the election for him so he could be president during the Olympics. Yes, he did say this. And that Elon Musk knew the vote machines inside and out. Yes, he did say this. And then when he pissed off Elon Musk was quick to point out, your ass wouldn't be president if it wasn't for me. That's because they rigged the election. Of course, the voters fraud is the people. People hollering voters fraud are the ones committing voters fraud. Why Donald Trump's been hollering that shit for fucking years. First go around, he had the Russians helping him. Next year, Russians helping him too, Chinese helping him. He's got, and look, other countries get involved with our government and they will support what they consider to be the biggest loser of the group. The one they know that ain't got no common sense, that can't do much and end up destroying the system. And of course, they'd back Donald Trump because that's what Donald Trump is. He's a loser. He's not educated. He ain't smart. Oh, I get tired of him talking. I'm really smart. No, bitch, you're not smart. I'm gonna do my little dance. Fuck you, bitch. You ain't smart. You're dumb as fucking. You're dumb as rocks. You're probably dumber than the fucking rocks. Rocks probably got more sense than you do. But either way it goes, this putting troops at the polls stuff, it is against the law. Our elections are ran by the state, not by the federal government. This is a fact. The federal government only wants to get involved when they want to rig stuff. Understand what I'm saying. The federal government only gets involved when they want to rig an outcome. This has nothing to do with a fair election at this point. It's them getting what they want and MAGA getting what they want. And it's kind of funny. They agreed to fund TSA without ICE, and the Republicans, and all Republicans supported it. And then one Republican, while everybody was gone, said, well, no, we're not going to do that, not without ICE. See, the object here in part of Project 2025 is to privatize TSA. Now, we definitely don't want that to be privatized. Elon Musk, I believe, said he'd take over TSA, but of course he would. Because what will happen is you'll get double taxed on it. You have to pay Elon Musk for TSA. Then you also have to pay the government because they're going to give him subsidies for TSA because he's going to come back and say, oh, well, you need to pay me subsidies on this. So you got your taxpayer money's going and your money's going all to one person. You understand everybody's paying a middleman. That's what you're going to be doing. You're paying the middleman just to broker shit. That right there is fucking crying shame. But Republicans, that is part of the Project 25, is to nationalize TSA. It's in there. Read the things that Project 25 want to get done, and you'll find that it is just the way it is. So we are dealing with some extreme Christians who aren't fucking Christians. They just say they are. That are trying to control everything. In my personal opinion, is they all need to be shot anyways. We need to get rid of all of them. That's my personal opinion. My personal opinion for sure is we need to prosecute all of them and throw them in prison and forget where the key is and forget what door we put them behind and just walk off is what we should do. But again, I'm just, trying to point out some of the stuff. Voter suppression. This is all about voter suppression. The fact is, when the elections come about, and this is true, when the elections come, midterms come, the Republicans are going to lose. They've been losing all over the place. Trump, city of Miami, the mayor, who's been Republican for forever, just lost to a Democrat. So now it's no longer a Republican mayor, it's a Democratic mayor. And this is actually happening all across the United States. And again, I consider myself rather independent. I have to roll over to the Democrat side because the Republicans have gotten too fucking crazy. But now I'll be realistic. I voted for Ronald Reagan. I voted for some Republican presidents in my day. I didn't vote for Donald Trump, not Trump 1.0, 2.0, or 3.0. I didn't vote either fucking time he ran because he's a piece of shit. I already know he's a piece of shit. Of course, again, this is my opinion and I have a right to my opinion, but he's the biggest dog shit walking on God's green earth. So when Biden was, running for re-election, it was, oh, he's going to start the war in Iran. Then Clinton's going to start the war in Iran. Then Biden was going to start the war in Iran. That's a lying son of a bitch because he's the one that started the war in Iran. Go out to the gas pumps and look at the price of gas. I mean, if you're in my business, you understand that Hertz is costing me an extra $20 a day in gasoline right now to work. That's actually realistic. Where it costs me right now to work. I'm just tripping on that fact. We've got an extra expense, so that means I have to work longer hours to get where I need to be. Outside of studying stuff and everything else I got to do. So this is just making life a little bit more difficult. Makes it a little bit more difficult to have some family time and all that good stuff. But hey, what can you say? So, of course, the Thailand one was funny. We don't want them because they're on the system. They're in the system. Nobody's on the system. Let me explain again. For me to get on the system, it took some lawyers. And I was tripping on that because, again, I'm a U.S. citizen. I pay taxes. I've worked. You've got my Social Security tax, Medicaid tax, state tax. I paid all this shit my entire life. And just for me to get on it for the brief time, because I was on it for a while and I came off, I got myself healthy, got back to work. So, yeah, I did get out of the system on my own, just because I don't want to be in the system. I just want to be a nice, functioning individual doing the same thing that hundreds of millions of Americans are doing. We're going to work, making our money, paying our bills, living our life. I want to everybody to understand something. I don't really care what color your skin is. If I slice you, your ass is bleeding red blood. We all get up and put our pants on one leg at a damn time. We all pull the shirt over our heads. We're all just trying to get along and live life. What we don't need is government trying to make it worse. And we don't need factors that, kill all the Democrats because the Democrats are bad. Actually, Republicans, that's the biggest lie you can tell. And history actually shows you're wrong. Okay, 22 Democratic presidents and 28 Republican presidents so far for our 250 years. Get that. Republicans have controlled office more than the Democrats have controlled office. So let's see. The biggest criminals in the Oval Office so far: Richard Nixon, Republican; Donald fucking Trump, 1.0 and 2.0, Republican. The best presidents in office: Andrew Jackson, number one, put us in a surplus. We had a surplus economy. Second president, Bill Clinton, had a surplus economy. Both Democrats. You can't really get past the true facts. Democrats are better at running the country. They're better at social programs. They're better at everything in a nutshell. Republicans are only good at giving the tax breaks to rich. And let me explain. Like my uncle. Uncle, if you listen to this, I'm talking to you directly. You fucking make no money. You're a damn security guard. You don't even get a piece of the tax break Donald Trump gave out to the top 1%. Actually, you're paying more taxes. I hope you enjoy that. You're paying higher gas prices right now and higher grocery prices. I hope you enjoy that too. And that bullshit Donald Trump ain't never fixing a fucking thing because a criminal can't fix shit. He's a criminal. He continues to act like a criminal in the Oval Office. This tells you everything. He will always be a criminal. Always, always, always. Nothing's going to change. He's a con man, a scammer. And of course, he's getting rich off the White House. I can't, after he's gone, it's going to take 20 years to actually dive in and find out exactly how much money Trump stole from the United States taxpayers. It doesn't matter what you say, this is exactly what he's doing. Along with Elon Musk, who stole, I don't know how much money he stole all of our Social Security number data. They were going to sell that off. Doge, who technically had a position illegally and didn't have the clearance to be there. I know that they're, trying to look into that, and they really need to go after him for that because that is the true scenario. He had no business in the office or any of our personal stuff. Okay, so now we've sliced all the departments and things aren't getting done correctly, and we're having problems with, IRS. We're having problems with student loans. We're having problems with everything. Every fucking department's got a problem. Then you got Hexeth, who's supposed to be the Secretary of Defense, that calls himself the Secretary of War. Okay, so this again goes against anything Donald Trump and J.D. Vance said when he was running. Donald Trump is the president of peace. The peace of what? He's the president of piece of shit is what he is, because he ain't peace president at all. He's done nothing but start wars. I-9 so far, and then casually throws in Cuba as his next target. This is a fucking warmonger. And of course, there's an end goal to this, to be in so many damn wars, start some drafts, and try to declare, martial law or something and keep his ass in the presidency. But make no mistake, when his new Secretary of Defense was, Homeland Security, whoever, Homeland Security, was swearing in. If you look at Trump in the background, his ass is sloped over to the left. His hands are firing off. He's got some little things firing off in his hands. His hands are jittery and stuff. That son of a bitch has dementia. He's either got Alzheimer's or dementia, and he's in the latter stages. So let's not talk about Joe Biden, bitch. Let's talk about your people covering this shit up for you. They're covering up the fact that you got problems. Hopefully, and I'm sorry, it sounds bad, but hopefully that shit takes you out. Because I know how you just said you were so happy somebody just died. Well, I'm going to be happy when you die too, trust me. I'm going to do a dance on your grave if I have to. I'm going to be happy you're gone. Because you have completely destroyed the United States of America. You have completely destroyed what this country stood for. You have done it in just a little over a year. And anybody that backs you is fucking stupid, needs to be tried for fucking treason as well. That includes anybody that still supports you as an individual citizen that should be smart enough to have their fucking eyes open and see what the hell you're doing. We should try them for treason and shoot them in front of a firing squad. I do remember Trump saying somebody needed to be shot in the face. I think he was talking about Hillary Clinton at the time, and maybe somebody else, but it doesn't really matter. He did say he wanted somebody shot in the face. Well, that comes around and goes around. So, okay, so we had the No Kings protest. Tens of millions of people were out protesting. And guess what happened? The mega Trumpsters create violence. That poll that was put out a long time ago, Donald Trump's tried to bury, that said the Republican far right are more amped to do violent things than the Democrats. That's a fact. But the Democrats want to point the finger to the Republicans want to point the finger to the Democrats. The Democrats aren't really that, but the Republicans say they are. Of course, because this is their ploy. And it's kind of like this. Talk to a Trumpster. I talk to any Trumpster. I don't care where the Trumpster's from. Just talk to the Trumpster. And you can point out like this. Okay, Donald Trump has had 9 negative job reports in his 2 terms. Joe Biden Joe Biden put out 460,000 jobs a month, every month for the whole time he was in office. So let's see, losing jobs and adding jobs in the country, adding jobs is actually what we need to have happen. This is correct, right? We need to add jobs. Biden did really well at adding jobs. Trump fucking sucks adding jobs. Actually, Trump's giving us a negative job report, so we're losing jobs. So people aren't going to get to work. People are going to have trouble paying the bills. And fuck, gas prices. Look at gas prices, $3.60 plus. Unless you're in California, it's probably about $7 right now. These gas prices were okay, but now they're gone. That's about the only thing I could give Trump. Although, again, I have an education, so let me say that Trump doesn't. But gas prices are controlled by the market itself and not by a president. But even if I want to give him a call out for, hey, our gas prices are doing pretty good. We were about $2.20 to $2.50 a gallon. Well, bitch, you fixed that yourself and started a war that you shouldn't have started. It's an illegal war. Most people would have enough common sense not to go over in that direction, but not Trump. Trump says, okay, and now guess what? This is going to start. This is how Vietnam started. Let's go down and explain this. Vietnam started with 3,500 Marines and so many paratroopers hitting the ground first. That's how it started. And it escalated to where the draft was invoked. Donald Trump is putting 2,500 Marines and 2,000 paratroopers and some amphibious and stuff on the ground. This is going to be the start. He is sending them to be slaughtered. They are waiting. They are mocking Trump. They are waiting. They are showing pictures and videos that they're dug into the trenches, waiting on U.S. troops. Waiting. Think about this. So we're going to get massacred. You can, okay, don't get me wrong. Our military is great, but the way that they're going in is wrong. If we really wanted, again, to get anywhere with this, we would go in from multiple sides at one time and push everybody to the middle. And we'd be going in full force, fighter jets and all. We wouldn't be going in with a small group. It doesn't make sense to go in with a small group. But that's the point. Okay, we have to, acknowledge the fact that Trump himself and his administration have agreed that the first time around they destroyed their nuclear capacity. They destroyed it. They got rid of it. There was nothing going on. Okay, that's the first time around, right? That's what they said. that is what they said. Okay, we took all this shit out, so they can't do this. Okay. If that's correct, then there was no intimate threat to us at all for Trump to go in on intimate threat. Plus, the war is illegal on more than one. There's more than one fact that supports this war is illegal. Okay, first and foremost, it hasn't been approved by the House and Senate, nor has they even talked about taking it up to the House and Senate. So, if they don't approve it, then it can't be done. But they are asking for $200 billion more dollars. So we couldn't afford. Okay, we couldn't afford to help children without insurance, or children without food, or old folks that need food, or old folks that need insurance. We could not afford this at all. Nope, could not. We didn't have the money. Nope, 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 and nope. Yet, we can spend a couple of $1 billion a day on a war. Every day. Think about this. We had no money. Now we have a couple of $1 billion a day that we can just waste in war. Donald Trump, he's lost this war. He'll say that they're talking to him and making deals, and they'll come out and taunt him to let him know he's lying. But of course, I don't know what anybody else expects. You should expect right off the bat that Donald Trump is fucking going to lie. I mean, plain and simple, beyond a shadow of doubt. Donald Trump is going to get out there and lie. He's going to have these imaginary conversations with people in his head and make you believe it's a real conversation. This is true. Nobody's going to make the Strait of Hormuz controlled by Donald Trump and the Iran country. No, it's not. Donald Trump ain't controlling shit. Donald Trump wants to pollute our fucking dollars by putting his signature on it. He polluted Elvis Presley's guitar once he signed that. Donald Trump is a fucking criminal. I'll say it again. He's a fucking criminal. He needs to be in jail, so far underneath the fucking jail with the key thrown away that he'll never see the light of day for the rest of his life. I do predict that that bitch dies or leaves office when he realizes he can't rig the election. And I'll also say this as a fact. If the Republicans, if the Republicans win on the midterms, it's because they rigged the election. Nobody. And I'm going to say this on from Republican side, especially in my line of work. 99% of all Republicans do not support Donald Trump. They do not. They think he's an extremist. Most of them have woke up and know he's a liar. Okay, you Christian people, again, you ain't fucking Christians because God supports no fucking adulterer, rapist, pedophile, convicted felon, con man. God would never support this. I don't care what your Bible you're reading. You just don't read the damn Bible. Or you just listen to what somebody says. Most of MAGA is just that. And let's tell you what, you can prove that Trump is 100% a piece of shit president. And their MAGA response all the way at the end is, well, it's better than Biden. But the truth is, no, it's not better than Biden. Biden gave us some jobs. We had a decent economy at the end of Biden's terms. I don't care if Biden was suffering from dementia on his last year in office. His mind is still more intact than Donald Trump's is. Donald Trump will fucking give a speech and say 4 different things that contradict himself all in the same damn speech. And then he starts talking about his uncle this or this or this. I don't give a fuck too much about your uncle. I just don't. You're a piece of shit. Your family's a piece of shit. You're a fucking, his children went into the drone making business for the war. You know why? Because once the war gets going, this is where the money's going to be. So they have used the office to make millions, if not billions, of dollars. And again, MAGA are just blind and stupid. But anyways, I'm just getting my rant out for the day. I read so much and hear so much stuff. And, I'm going to give a plug to Legal AF. I follow them. I listen to all their briefings and what they're talking about. Good place to go. They're a bunch of lawyers that look at things from the legal side and keep track of the lies Donald Trump tells, because he tells a lot of them. And it keeps track of the court hearings and court findings and judge rulings, so you understand what the judges are doing against Trump right now, because Trump's getting his ass whooped by judges. Unless the judges, I suck Trump's dick, because there is one in Florida that's just like that. She sucks Trump's dick and keeps hiding his stuff, just like all of his Epstein ties have been hidden. I will keep praying that the group that hacked all the Epstein files in 2023, I'm sorry for the victims, but I hope they put all that shit out unredacted. That way you can see the truth. And Pam Bondi and all those people can't hide Trump's involvement anymore. It bothers me that this motherfucker get up there. Oh, I wasn't really. That motherfucker was partying with Trump through the 90s like it was 1999 all the time. Fuck it. That's what he was doing, buddy. And that's just how it is. But I do appreciate everybody's time. And, go Bobcats. The end of the year is coming pretty soon. We get out in May, so there's not too much more time left before classes are ended. I wish everybody good luck on their finals and, whatever exams you got between now and then. And, share my channel. I'm trying to get my followers up. Share my channel. Make comments. Give me some thumbs up. Let's, especially this particular post, share this particular post on your Facebook page or your Instagram or TikTok or whatever. There's all these damn things out there nowadays. Share it and, let's get people talking about some of these topics. We don't want to be suppressed in the votes. We want to be able to vote freely. We don't need to voting polls to be policed. Again, we have went to Russia as soon as that happens. Of course, we understand Trump's lifted the embargoes on Putin's oil and Iran's oil. It's been there for many, 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 many years. With under the guise of it's going to help lower gas prices. No, it's not. It's not enough oil to help lower gas prices. In the Strait of Hormuz, a lot of oil goes through there and it's been shut down. Hell, they just turned back 2 Chinese tankers too. So, you got to understand that this little country that we think are pushovers, they're controlling the oil going and coming out of that area. That's for even the Arabic countries that, are part of the United States, friendship, which really won't be that much longer because Donald Trump hasn't done shit to help them. He's lied a lot and he continues to lie. But, anyways, again, thanks for coming. I want to thank you for coming and being part of Frank's Corner. I hope we all have a good day. Y'all all be safe. Take care of yourselves. Much love to everybody. And we'll see you next time.